Hi guys, this is Vijay from Microtech. This is the second part of Network Security Group series. In this video, I'm going to show you a live demo of how to create a network security group and how to create a security rules in it. So let's get started. So let's go ahead and create a network security group. So network security group is a network component, a networking component. So it belongs to Microsoft.network provider. So I'm just going to network security group and clicking on add. So I will be getting a prompt to create a new network security group. The creation is very simple. All I need to do is select a subscription, create a resource group and associate the network security group to the resource group. So I'm going to create a resource group called nsg-rg, and then I'm gonna give it a name, right? So this is a nsg for VM1, or it's let's say it's nsg for web, right? And then you need to tie this network security group to a region, right? So it's region specific. So if you want to associate a NSG to different virtual machine which is part of different region, then basically you need to create multiple network security groups per region, right? So network security group is something which you don't need to it's one-to-many mapping, which means you can create a one network security group and you can map it to multiple virtual machines NIC, or to the different subnets within the same region. So I'm just going to use Canada East, and then I'm just going to go ahead and click on next. If you want to provide any tags that you want to give for this network security group, you can give it. If not, I'm just going to leave it as default, and I'm going to go ahead and create it. So this creation process is very simple. Basically you just need to enter a couple of parameters like subscription, resource group, region and name, and then you can actually go ahead and create it. So the creation time also, it's not going to take much time. It's less than a minute. So once it is created, let's go ahead and take a look as how we can create network security group rules in it. So I'm just going to pause this video till it's going to get created, and then let's get started. So as you can see, the deployment is successful. I'm just going to go to this resource. In the overview tab, you can see all the information that you have actually provided, the name of the resource group in which it is deployed, the location, the subscription IDs and all this stuff. And in the right side, you can see how many custom security rules that you have, and also how this security rule network security group is associated to how many subnets and how many interfaces. So just wanted to give you an overview of what are all the default rules that you have. So for inbound you have 3 default rules, and outbound you have another 3 default rules which is already in place. So these rules are something which you will not be able to edit or delete. So if you want to have more control over this, basically you need to create a custom security rules with a lesser priority, so that this rule will become invalid, and then the rule which you're creating with a higher priority takes precedence. So let's take an example, right? So let me go to the inbound security rules and create a inbound security rule. So basically my intention is I'm creating a security rule so that from internet anyone should be able to access my VM's RDP to my VM, right? So the source, if you see the source, we basically have 4 tags in this. So application security tag, group, security tag, IP address and any, right? So when I specify anyone from internet, right, any IP address with any source port, and destination, I'm just going to specify virtual network. So anyone from internet or with any source port, if the destination is virtual network, can access my virtual network on a custom port, or let's say I'm opening RDP port. So when I specify RDP, the destination port is actually pre-configured. If you want to change the port, then you can click on custom and then change it. And then I'm going to allow TCP protocol, and the action is allow, right? I'm just going to create the priority as 4096. So So I'm creating this 4096 priority, which is greater than these, which has more priority than these default rules. So this is going to take precedence. I'm just going to give a name as allow RDP, right? So basic, and you can provide a description as why you have created this rule, right? So this rule is gonna, once I create this rule and I associate this rule to a network security group, once I associate this network security group to a virtual machine's NIC or a subnet, that specific NIC or subnet is going to allow any traffic from internet on port 3389 as a destination, right? So I'm just going to click add, so that you can see that there is a allow rule configured, and you can see an exclamation, because it's a security threat. No one wants to allow port 3389 and gonna expose that to public. So this is just for a testing purpose or a demonstration purpose. But generally the way how corporates used to configure is, if you want to allow a specific IP address, so basically in the source you can specify an IP address, and you can if you know the source IP address, source public IP address, you can actually specify that with a CIDR block, and then you can save it, so that only traffic which is sourced from those public IP address will be able to access the resources to which this network security group is associated with. So for now I'm just going to leave it to wide open internet, and then I'm going to select network interface. So this network security group can be associated to the NICs which are present in the same region. So I don't have any NICs present currently in Canada East, so I will not be able to associate there. So let's see if I have any subnets. So I don't have any virtual networks as well, so let's quickly create a virtual network in Canada East, and then let's go ahead and associate that to a subnet. So I'm gonna use the same region, and then I'm gonna give a name for my VNet, and then I'll just go ahead and create it. So it's going to take the default address range and subnet. So once the VNet is created, I should be able to see a subnet called default with address space of 10.1.0.0/24. And since I have a VNet and a subnet, I can in Canada East region, now I can go back to my network security group and associate this network security group to a subnet. So the time since it's going to deploy, let's go back to the network security group and select the network security group that we just created, and select the subnet, and now you get an option to associate that to a virtual network. So I have selected the virtual network, and I have only one subnet. I'm going to select that, and then I'm just going to save it. So this NSG can be associated to any subnets, right, in the same region, and this is the inbound security rule that I have created. And outbound security rules, they basically have default. I don't have any custom rules created. So now if I go back to the overview page, you can see the number of custom rules that I have created is 1. And if I just do a refresh again, it should show us that it is associated to one subnet. So this is what I wanted to cover. So using network security group, you can manage or you can secure your infrastructure by creating all these sort of ACLs, allow and deny rules to make sure that you can actually control what traffic you need to allow inside a subnet or to a specific VM, or what to allow and what not to allow. So basically this is the a security product which is there to secure your network. And this is what I wanted to cover in this video. I hope you guys have learned, and thank you for watching this video. Bye bye.